What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What up, what up, what up, what up? What's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you smash that like button and definitely make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Means a lot to me, goes a long way. All your efforts, all your engagement helps the channel grow and helps me earn. So I appreciate the love and support. You guys have been phenomenal so far throughout this off season, man. I know it's a slow time. I know you're seeing a lot of regurgitated news, a lot of regurgitated information, but that's just the lay of the land, man. People got to get creative when they make the content. So we're doing our best to give you the best version of some things that you probably already heard or some things that you already feel. But regardless, we're going to have some fun. We're going to connect. We're going to discuss some things here at Chalk It Up Sports. So make sure you guys get comfy. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you remain engaged in the chat. You guys are all phenomenal as well. Shout out to KGK. Shout out to Relative Time Works, Miss Fanny, Bree, Alex, Big Dog 5215. Appreciate all of you guys for being locked in on the show, man. It means a lot to me. All right. By the way, I almost forgot about this. By the way, you guys, the show is always available to you on not just YouTube, but it's also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You guys have that option, okay? So you can watch the playback. I always appreciate you guys who watch that playback as well. A lot of the views come from there, so you guys are phenomenal with that. We're also dropping clips, reaction videos. You can check the content out on Instagram, TikTok. I'm always posting stuff on Twitter. Like I said, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The content is available on many fronts, so make sure you guys are active. I appreciate the love and the support, man. All right, so today's live stream may not be that long. We may be here for half an hour, maybe here for 45 minutes. Who knows? Sometimes the vibes take us wherever it takes us. But I want to revisit one of the greatest seasons we've seen from a defensive player in Eagles history, and I stand by that. I know it may be a bit overzealous. I may be speaking a little bit too soon. But I personally believe Zack Baun delivered one of the best defensive seasons we've seen by a Philadelphia Eagle in the past 25 years. I stand by that. What Zack Baun was able to accomplish, what Zack Baun was able to do in 2024, 2025, that season was nothing short of remarkable, especially given the circumstances of his career. Right before we get into his 2024 season, let's just remind ourselves where Zack Baun has been prior to becoming a Philadelphia Eagle. Right, Zack Baun, 6'2" at the time, 6'2", 238 pounds, coming out of college. Went to Wisconsin, was drafted in the 3rd round, 74th overall by the New Orleans Saints. During Zack Baun's time in Wisconsin, he spent 3 years there. Well, actually, he spent 4 years there. 2017, I believe he got hurt. But his 2016, 2018, 2019 seasons, he was active, and he was a very productive member of that Wisconsin defense. 12 and a half sacks, 53 solo tackles, 76 total tackles, 20 TFLs in his senior season. An interception return for a touchdown, to pass deflection. When you look at Zack Baun's production, 2 forced fumbles. When you look at Zack Baun's production, especially in his 2019 season, his senior season at Wisconsin, he was spectacular, productive, stuff in the stat sheet: tackles for loss, sacks, interceptions, pass deflections, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries, defensive touchdowns. It kind of reminds you of what happened in his final season with the Saints and what that became in his 2024 season with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Zack Baun, before he came to Philly in that 2023 season, he played in 17 games, started in 6 of them. But those 6 games came on the back end of the season, I believe. I think they had some injuries, and Zack Baun was able to get some run on the back end of the 2023 season, and he was able to make an impact in those 6 games. In 2023, in 6 games starting, he was able to put up, let's see here, 30 total tackles, 20 solo, 4 TFLs, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble. 2 pass deflections. He had an interception. Like, again, a guy who was everywhere, doing different things for the defense. Then we get to his 2024 season with the Philadelphia Eagles, right? Again, this guy in college was a pass rusher, edge rusher, off-ball linebacker. He was a guy that knew how to get to the quarterback, right? But then he gets to the Philadelphia Eagles, and Vic Fangio says, hey, I think this guy has more in the tank than we think. I think this guy can play inside linebacker. I think this guy can play linebacker. I think he's more than just a pass rusher. And Zack Baun didn't know what to expect. Zack Baun was just coming in, doing what he was told. You know, he was brought here on a 1-year deal. The Philadelphia Eagles completely maximized that deal. He overachieved on that deal. And in 2024, Zack Baun delivered one of the greatest seasons we've seen by Eagles defender in a long time, especially at the linebacker position. The Eagles don't have the greatest history over the past 25 years at linebacker. Let's just call it what it is. You had Jeremiah Trotter Jr., right? You had Michael Kendricks at one point. I remember when we had a guy named Sean Bradley. You had what's my man name? Najee. Is it not Najee Good, but somebody else? I'm forgetting my man's name. Nigel Bradham, right? Trying to think who else the Philadelphia Eagles had. You had TJ Edwards. You had the other linebacker we brought in. I forget my man's name. But regardless, the Eagles don't have the most consistent history at linebacker. Let's just call it what it is. But Zack Baun came in and provided something we ain't seen before. And he played in all 16 games. Well, it's a 17-game season. He didn't play in the last game, of course, because, it wasn't necessary. But he played in 16 games, started all 16 games in 2024. And remind you, before I get to his stats, Zach Cunningham, right? Kaiser White. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Kaiser White, Zach Cunningham. Not really the best history at linebacker. Kaiser White had a solid season for the Eagles. Jordan Hicks, but too injury prone, right, Alex? You're absolutely right. But yeah, before I get to Zack Baun's stats, remember that 2024 offseason, he was getting the bulk of the first team reps, him and Devin White. And then N'Kobe would rotate with those guys. But Zack Baun was getting the bulk of the reps. And when we signed Zack Baun, I was pretty early on him. I was high on him early. And I said, I think Zack Baun is going to deliver a season that replicates what he did with the Saints in that final year in those 6 games. whatever he did in those 6 games he started, whatever stats he put up in that 2023 season with the Saints, multiply that. I think Zack Baun is going to deliver a season like that. He's going to affect the game in more than one way. He's going to be a productive player for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, did I expect All Pro? Did I expect the Defensive Player of the Year finalist? I did not. I just expected him to be serviceable, to make an impact in various ways. But Zack Baun, again, he was able to impact the game in so many ways. He was in my opinion, Zack Baun, he was the linchpin of that defense. He allowed everybody to do their jobs to a T, right? And you can say that for a few guys. Every guy has a different role, but you can say that for a few guys that their role is very significant, whether we realize it or not. But Zack Baun's role was not only significant, but the stat sheet showed how significant he was. Again, 2024, 16 games played, 16 starts. My man put up 151 total tackles. 151. I say again, Zack Baun put up 151 total tackles, 93 solo, 11 TFLs, 5 quarterback hits, 3.5 sacks, 5 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 4 pass deflections, and 1 interception. Zack Baun was everywhere for the Philadelphia Eagles, and you saw it in the film. I mean, Vic Fangio had him lining up on the ball, off the ball. He was dropping back in coverage. He was rushing the passer. He was blitzing. He was playing good coverage on tight ends and running backs, forcing turnovers in crucial spots, actually, making guys better around him. I believe he made Nakobe Dean better. I believe he made Cooper DeJean better, and vice versa. I believe he helped Reed Blankenship do his job and CJ do their jobs, and the D line. I just think Zack Baun was so impactful for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't even really quantify how spectacular he was, and he capitalized that season, those statistics, with not only a Pro Bowl selection, not only a first team All Pro selection, but he capped it off with a Super Bowl championship that he vehemently was actively a part of. And remind you, I'm only talking about the regular season stats. In the playoffs, he took it to a whole nother level. In the playoffs in 2024, Zack Baun played in all 4 games. He gave you 33 total tackles, 20 solo. He led the team in total tackles, led the team in solo tackles. He had 2 TFLs. He had 1 quarterback hit. He had 2 fumble recoveries, a forced fumble, 3 pass deflections, and he had 2 interceptions. 2 interceptions, bro. He had an interception in that Green Bay game, and he had an interception in the Super Bowl. He bookended the playoff run with 2 interceptions. I mean, again, Zack Baun, I asked myself, having a season that dominant, that spectacular, can he do it again? Can Zack Baun repeat what he did in 2024 and 2025? And to give you the short answer, I think he can. I think he can. Let me get to these super chats real quick, you guys. I appreciate the love and the donations. You guys are awesome. Fanny, the Eagles fan. Thank you so much, Miss Fanny. She says, hey, Tone, happy 4th. One thing the Eagles are known to do is resurrect careers and give players second chances. We invest when other teams fail. First and foremost, happy 4th to you, Miss Fanny, and happy 4th of July to all of you guys. Happy Independence Day. Hope you guys are being safe. Hope you guys are having some good travels, right? Having some safe travels. I hope you guys got the grill running. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all know what to do. With 4th of July came in on a Friday. You feel me? So I hope you guys have a really spectacular weekend, a safe weekend. Don't forget why we celebrate it, right? So make sure you guys enjoy that. Happy 4th of July. And also, I'll give you a happy late Juneteenth. A happy late Juneteenth, you guys. So thank you, Miss Fanny, for the super chat. And again, the funny thing about Zack Baun's career, I don't know if I would even call it a resurrection, because he just didn't get the opportunities with the Saints. They were loaded at linebacker, and he just didn't get the opportunities. And then when he finally got the opportunity, he ran with it. But I understand your point, though. They give new life to guys' careers. So maybe we do got to use the term resurrect, right? The Philadelphia Eagles were able to give Zack Baun's career a new life. Vic Fangio was able to give Zack Baun's career a new lease on life. And, sometimes you got to put guys in position, and they still got to do their jobs, right? So, shout out to Zack Baun, man. He ain't the only one though. He ain't the only one. Gunny Mac with the super chat. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate the support. He says the bald eagle hasn't even hit his prime yet. He has a little wear and tear. He has little wear and tear with last year being his first starting year, and look what he did with it. Baun will go down as the best Eagles linebacker so far. Man, we'll see. I think a man named Seth Joyner may have something to say about that, but I would definitely say Zack Baun, if he continues on this pace, on this run, if he can continue to replicate these seasons, he can go down as one of the best Eagles linebackers, especially over the past 25 years, specifically. Over the past 25 years, most definitely he can go down as one of the best Eagles linebackers over the past 25 years. I still put Seth Joyner in that category. I still think Seth Joyner is the best Eagles linebacker of all time. That's my humble opinion. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. Maybe I am a little bit, but I think Zach, I think what Seth Joyner was able to do at the linebacker position for the Philadelphia Eagles is otherworldly. But again, I think Zack Baun has the capabilities to be productive, be as productive, if not more productive. And also they played the position a little. They're built differently, but Seth Joyner did everything as well. Seth Joyner got sacks, got interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for loss. Seth Joyner did everything. Like, so Zack Baun, he's cut from that cloth. A guy that can cover multiple holes for you on defense. So yeah, man. But I do think Zack Baun, based off his production, based off what he was able to do in 2024, if he can replicate it, if he can continue to do what he does, I think Zack Baun can definitely go down as the best Eagles linebacker over the past 25 years, for sure. For sure. Now, again, back to whether I think he can do it again. I think he can. That's the thing. I think Zack Baun can do it again. And I apologize for any sort of internet connectivity issues, you guys. It's pouring down raining where I am on 4th of July, unfortunately. So, yeah, you guys, sorry if there's any connectivity issues with the Wi-Fi. But yeah, I think Zack Baun can do it again. I think Zack Baun has all the capabilities to do it again. The way he plays the game, it's sustainable. He's not reckless. He's not just throwing his. I mean, he's the kind of guy that's going to lay it on you, but he doesn't just throw his body around recklessly. He's a very smart player. He's always in the right place at the right time, and he's instinctual. He's versatile, can affect the game in more ways than one. Maybe this game he didn't get sacks, but he's going to cover well and get pass deflections. Maybe he didn't stuff the stat sheet that day, but he kept guys in check. He had guys locked down. He had his real estate of the field squared away and taken care of, right? So I think Zack Baun has everything is very capable of repeating it. I mean, the fact that he should have been Defensive Player of the Year. He was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist, but he should have been DPOY. They gave it to Patrick Surtain. Not saying Pat Surtain didn't have a spectacular season, because he did, but Zack Baun, I mean, everything that his performance provided for the Eagles, first team All-Pro, Pro Bowl, or Super Bowl champion, and obviously it's a regular season award, but his impact on the Eagles, phenomenal. He made guys better around him. I stand by this. Seeing how he was able to elevate Oren Burks in the playoffs, it made me think, damn, how much of an impact did he have on Nakobe Dean, right? Nakobe Dean had a great season as well. Let me make sure I bring him Nakobe Dean's production. And by the way, as I bring him Nakobe Dean's production, right, let's talk a little bit more about Zack Baun. Zack Baun, what he was able to do with that performance, not only in the playoffs, but the regular season, he was able to leverage that into a lucrative 3-year extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. They gave him a 3-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guaranteed. Phenomenal production, phenomenal recoupment for that player. But Nakobe Dean, remember, Nakobe Dean battled injuries in 2023, and in 2022 he was a rookie. He didn't get a chance to get any burn. But 2024 he comes in, plays in 15 games, has 128 total tackles, 80 solo, right? Non-TFL, 6 quarterback hits, had 3 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 4 pass deflections, 2 fumble recoveries, an interception. Another guy who stuffed the stat sheet and was everywhere. I mean, seeing the way Nakobe was able to tackle in the backfield, Zack Baun, the same thing. The way they were able to slice through is just phenomenal. I mean, you got to give credit to the D-line as well for creating those lanes. But you got to give credit for Zack Baun and Nakobe Dean for keeping the safeties and the corners clean. Like when you look at the tackle totals for the team, Zack Baun led the team with 151 tackles, total tackles. Nakobe Dean was second with 128 total tackles. The next closest player was Reed Blankenship with 78 tackles. Nakobe Dean had 50 more total tackles than Reed Blankenship. And Zack Baun had about 70 more, about 73 more total tackles than Reed Blankenship. Those are the total tackles. Now, when you get to the solo tackles, Zack Baun 93, Nakobe 80, Reed Blankenship, the next guy 52. Nakobe Dean had 28 more solo tackles than Reed Blankenship. Zack Baun had 41 more solo tackles than Reed Blankenship. Let me put this in perspective for you guys, right? The 2023 regular season. You want to know who led the Eagles in tackles in 2023? Reed Blankenship. Reed Blankenship had 113 total tackles and 79 solo. You want to know what the next person had? 95 total tackles, and that was a linebacker, Nick Morrow. He had 66 solo. So again, you don't want your safety leading your team in tackles for one. That means that guys are getting past the linebackers. That means that your linebackers are not being able to stop the bleeding, right? And I look at what Zack Baun and Nakobe Dean were able to do. They kept them safeties clean. They kept the ball carriers from ever breaking away to them safeties. Zack Baun and Nakobe Dean led the team in tackles by a wide margin, which means they were doing their jobs. They were exactly where they were supposed to be. That is not something to overlook. We had so many seasons where Reed Blankenship, like having Reed Blankenship lead the team in tackles in 2023 is not a good sign for your defense. And again, I appreciate him for doing what he had to do, but it's not a good sign, right? Now, in the 2022 season, let's go back to that. The 2022 season, your two leaders in tackles, TJ Edwards, Kaiser White. TJ Edwards had 159 total tackles, 99 solo. Kaiser had 110 total tackles, 66 solo. The next closest person was Marcus Epps, a safety. He had 94 total tackles and 70 solo. And CJ Gardner-Johnson, 67 total tackles, 61 solo. So the two best seasons we've seen from the Eagles defense, their two leading guys in tackles, their leaders in tackles came from the linebacker position. That tells you everything you need to know. Tells you everything you need to know. And then if we go back to that 2021 regular season, your two leaders in tackles, Alex Singleton won 137 and TJ Edwards won 130, right? That defense started to find itself on the back end. They still had issues, though. But regardless, Zack Baun, what he was able to provide to the Eagles, phenomenal. The Eagles had no choice but to pay that man. No choice. Alfredo with the $2 super chat. He says, "Are you dropping more reaction soon?" I sure am, my guy. I sure am. I actually have a reaction that I plan on dropping today. So make sure you guys lock in. I really do appreciate that. I actually planned on reacting to some defensive highlights this time. So make sure you guys lock in with that, Alfredo. Appreciate you, my guy. All right, let's see where we at. All right. Fanny says Baun is a huge truth that defense wins championships. She said also Baun with the 4-man front was huge as well. That was that was another thing. Like there was times where the Eagles would send 4 guys, but maybe they may drop back Josh Sweat and they'll send Zack Baun or whatever it may be. Like Vic Fangio got really creative with how he used Zack Baun. Got really creative. Alex says Baun will be better with what he said about being in year 2 in Vic's defense. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Zack Baun he may deliver a season on par, maybe even better, right? It's hard to top what he did. It's hard to top what he did, but he was able to get it done nonetheless. But Zack Baun, phenomenal season. Phenomenal season, man. And coming into year 2 in Vic Fangio's system, I think everybody's going to be better. I think everybody has a chance to take it to another level. I really do. Big Dog says Zach is the new Fred Warner. Team's going to be scared to go anywhere near him. That's the thing, right? For him to be an first team All Pro and a Pro Bowler, Super Bowl champion, all in his first season with the Eagles. First of all, for him to win the All Pro, that means that he was undeniable. Because sometimes those All Pros or those Pro Bowlers become popularity contests, right? They're very lenient to guys who have built up equity with the league, like Fred Warner. But for him to beat out Fred Warner at first team All Pro at linebacker, for him to be the first team All Pro at linebacker was phenomenal. That means that his performance was so undeniable. The film, you couldn't deny what the film was telling you. But I still believe he should have finished higher for that Defensive Player of the Year award. Relative Time Work says, I get the impression that Baun is a guy who will stay hungry. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I agree with you 100% on that. Everything, man. King Diego with the post. Thank you, King Diego. He says, what's up, Tony, my Eagles family? My kids and I lost everything we have in a house fire last night. Make sure you appreciate the things you have because it can all be gone in an instant. Hey, man, King Diego, man, we appreciate the love and the support. Shout out to you and your family, man. Hope you guys, face better days, man. Again, I'm so sorry for these circumstances you're in, my man. I'm praying for you, and I'm hoping for the best, man. I'm hoping for the best. Thank you for supporting the channel through this tough time for you, man. I know it ain't easy. Afrado, back again with the $2 super chat. He says in draft call, Makuba told Lori he promised. Oh, in Makuba's draft call, he told Jeffrey Lurie that he promises another ring. Hey, listen, man. Hey, we'll take it. Jalen Carter, his first hit, as soon as he got the Eagles hat, as soon as they called his name, he said, I'm trying to win Super Bowls. You know what I'm saying? He said that plural. You know what I mean? And the thing is, when you get it done, when you're able to get it done with the guys you got it done with, and the roster is pretty much still intact, that brings y'all that much closer together because y'all know what y'all capable of. Going on that run, you never forget the people you went on that run with. And for these young guys to be coming in, and they have that desire to win, that desire to keep the ball rolling downhill, you gotta show love to that. You gotta appreciate that. These young guys understand the assignment. You got OGs in the building. You got young vets in the building that's setting the example. Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. I mean, these guys are entering year 5, 6, and 7. Like, these guys have been in the league. These guys have been in the league. These guys have been in the league for some time, man. 5, 6 years. These guys have been putting that work in. You know, Jalen Hurts, he's entering year 5 as a starter, year 6 in the NFL. Devontae is entering year 5 in the NFL. He's entering year 5 in the NFL. AJ Brown, I think AJ is entering year 7, right? Year 7. The OGs on the line, Lane Johnson. You got the young guy, Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson and Mailata, these young vets. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that on the defensive side, Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt, Moro Jomo, Thomas Booker IV, Zack Baun, and Kobe Dean, Trot Jr., Jihaad Campbell, Antoine Paul-Varland, Aziz Ojolari, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Reed Blankenship, Sidney Brown, Andrew Makuba, Ty Robinson. You know, like, Josh, you got this team is talented, bro. When everybody understands the assignment, they understand the assignment. Dallas Goedert, Tyler Steen, they understand the assignment. Nolan Smith said it. He said, "Yo, we going to get that championship. I need, you know what I mean? Hey, Dad, shout out to my dad, y'all. Happy 4th of July, son. Grilling and listening to your amazing show. Keep up the great work. Go Birds. Hey, man, I appreciate you, Dad. As always, love, man. Thank you so much for showing love. My man, my OG, triple OG. Kyle Kokorski with the $5 super chat. He says, Tone, this is probably too early. You see Vic using Campbell, how Tampa Bay uses Levante David. Good question. It's funny. Since we're talking about linebackers, right? Zack Baun and Nakobe Dean have a spectacular seasons. I think Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is going to have a good season as well, especially with Nakobe Dean and Jihaad Campbell being hurt. We'll see when they come back. But to your point about Jihaad Campbell, I think Jihaad Campbell is going to be a very versatile piece for the Eagles. I think Jihaad Campbell is going to be fierce. Like, I expect Jihaad Campbell to be used in the pass rush, to be used in blitzed, drop back in coverage, cover tight ends, cover the running backs on screen plays. I think Jihaad Campbell, he's big too. I think Jihaad Campbell is going to be gnarly for the Eagles. I do. I think he's going to be a dog. I can't wait to see how they use him. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about it. I just don't. Obviously, he has to get healthy. Obviously, he got to get healthy, right? Get healthy, my guy. Get healthy. Make sure that shoulder's good to go. But Vic Fangio is a mastermind. Him, Jeremiah Washburn, Bobby King, the way they get those linebackers ready to go, those guys are masterminds at working with those linebackers, bro. And then you got Zack Baun in the building, who he's going to learn from. Nakobe Dean, who he's going to learn from, right? You got Smile Mondon in the building, a young player that you brought in via the draft from Georgia, right? The Georgia Bulldog connection is real. That defense is real. SEC all day. You got Georgia Bulldogs on the D-line. You got Alabama products at linebacker. You got Wisconsin guys at linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Toledo and Iowa guys at corner, which is crazy to think about. Crazy. But Levante David is a spectacular player. I think Levante David has delivered a borderline Hall of Fame career. That's just my opinion. But, I could definitely see that happening. Thank you for the super chat, Kyle. Anthony Perry with the $20 super chat. Thank you, Ant. I appreciate you, big dog. He says, let him keep sleeping. All the disrespect is only going to help us because it blocks complacency. It's fuel for the Rockets. Effortless. We got bigger fish to fry. They care about season stats. We care about rings. Big facts. Big facts. And here's the thing, right? With this team being so talented, the stats going to come. The stats going to come, right? The most important stat column is the win-loss record for the quarterback, in my opinion. That's the most important stat column. Not how many yards he throw for, not how many touchdowns he throws, right? Now, granted, Jalen Hurts has been one of the most productive quarterbacks since he's been in the league. But they don't want to talk about that, though. They want to ignore his rushing stats. They want to ignore his rushing yards, his rushing touchdowns, and so on and so forth. Jalen Hurts gets it by every which way. He's a football player. He's not just a quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a football player. And that's where they get cute when they talk about this game. They get cute. Can he play football? Is he a good football player? Is he a productive football player? Oh, he's not the best quarterback in the league. Jalen Hurts is not he can't throw he can't throw for more yards than Justin Herbert. Nobody care about that. Nobody care about that. He's productive. He puts points on the board. He gives you touchdowns. He puts the yards up. He moves the chains. He protects the football. He wins football games. He's efficient. He's accurate. He pushes the ball down the field. He ain't scared to let that motherfucker rip. Stop playing. Stop it. Stop it. Too many dogs on this team. Too many dogs for people to be talking the way they be talking. They love calling the Eagles a super team. But then when we start talking about individuals, now all of a sudden they don't know who nobody is. Now all of a sudden, this person not top 5, not top 10, whatever it is. They funny money with that. We a super team, but we ain't got a legit quarterback. Okay. Make it make sense. We a super team, but Trying to think. I'm trying to make up some beef. I'm trying to fabricate some beef real quick. Oh man. Shout out to Ann Perry with the super chat, man. I appreciate the love and the support, big dog. It means a lot to me. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We're about to get out of here pretty soon. It's the off season, so don't want to wear out my welcome with these live streams. Sometimes, you don't want to just be talking about nothing the entire time. Fanny says Jihaad will be playing by December when we play the Raiders. I'm at that game. I think Jihaad's going to be active before that, honestly. I think Jihaad will be ready by September. I really do. Hot take, I don't think Jihaad Campbell goes on the PUP list. I have a hot take. I don't think he goes on the PUP list. He may not play week 1 or week 2. Who knows? But I don't think Jihaad goes on the PUP list. I could be going out on a limb saying that though. Now, N'Kobe is definitely going on the PUP list for sure. But I don't think Jihaad goes on the PUP list. I got a sneaky suspicion he'll be ready to go. And Perry with another super chat. Thank you, and I appreciate it. He says the Eagles are the Keisha souls of the NFL. Usual suspects. We lurking and strategic thinking right in their faces. I like the way you think, and Perry. You know what I mean? That real diabolical with it. Thank you for the super chat, Ant. Sweet chin music, my guy. Welcome to the show, of course. He says if the Eagles win it all this year, then elite quarterback is a two-man conversation. Hurts and Mahomes. I agree, bro. If Hurts do it again this year, dog, I'm sorry, bro. Only the elite can do that. Only the elite can do that. Back-to-back Super Bowl wins, 2-time Super Bowl champion. It's hard to win one. If he get 2, come on, man. Come on, man. The elite conversation goes to 2 guys. It gets to a point where you can't deny it no more. You can't keep disrespecting them. You can't keep trying to act like he ain't the reason they win football games. If Jalen Hurts becomes a 2-time Super Bowl champion in the 2025-2026 season, kiss the ring. Matter of fact, kiss both of them. Kiss both of them. It won't be easy. It will not be easy, but trust and believe if Jalen Hurts pull it off again, they ain't gonna have no choice to bring the knee pads out. Thank you for the super chat, Sweet Chin. Alex with the super chat. Thank you, Al. Appreciate you, man. He says, another thing about Zack Baun is he's great in coverage. As PFF had him ranked first last season, he allowed 2 catches that traveled over 10 yards in the air. Yo, Zack Baun was phenomenal in coverage. Let me see if I can pull up his coverage reps or some stats. So for 2024 through 16 games played, Zack Baun was targeted 68 times. He allowed 50 completions. He allowed a 73.5% completion percentage, but he only gave up 379 total yards. He was averaging 7.6 yards per completion given up, and he was averaging 5.6 yards per target. He didn't give up a single touchdown in the air, and he allowed an 80.5 passer rating. So Zack Baun, the completions is one thing, right? Listen, they're going to complete the pass. Can you prevent the yards? Can you prevent scores and touchdowns? And that's what he did. Through 16 games, he was targeted 68 times, gave up 50 catches, but only gave up 400 yards. So he held them to 379 yards in pass coverage, and he didn't give up a single touchdown. He was reliable back there. He was reliable. Got to give credit where credit is due. And some of those catches, by the way, which, like, to your point, which King, some of them catches, he was perfect. He was perfect. It was either a crazy catch or just, a better ball. But it was rare we saw Zack Baun out of position. It was very, very rare we saw him out of position. And here's another thing we got to keep in mind with Zack Baun. Zack Baun, through those 16 games played, he played in 95% of the snaps. He played 939 total defensive snaps. 939 total defensive snaps. That's 95% of the snaps. He never left the football field. I love that. I love that he's getting his respect though from PFF and the All Pro voters. War with the super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. He says, if we go back to back, that's 2 rings, 3 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years. Wouldn't that be a dynasty? Ooh, you talking now. You talking. 3 Super Bowl appearances in 4 years, 2 rings. You're approaching dynasty. You are scratching. You are literally your key is in the door at dynasty. In my opinion, your key is in the door. In my opinion, you need to win 3 Super Bowls. In my opinion, right? Not just with the appearances, but if you win 3 Super Bowls in 5 seasons, I think that's a dynasty. In my opinion, I think so. I think 3 Super Bowl wins qualify you in a dynasty. It depends on the time span in which you won it and how many. I think 3 Super Bowl wins qualifies you for dynasty. That's that. And then as far as the time span, I think you got to get those 3 within 5 to 6 years. If you can win 3 Super Bowls in 6 seasons, I think that's dynasty talk, personally. Fanny says they'll move the needle because it's us. You right about that. Fanny says, what was Baun's numbers before the Eagles? Now, here's the thing, right? Before the Eagles, Fanny, before he played for the Eagles, Zack Baun in 2023, that was his most productive season. That was the most burn he got playing. But in 2023, he played in 301 defensive snaps. He was a special teamer, so he came in on the back end of the season to start some games. But in 2023, he played in 301 defensive snaps, and he was able to put up in six starts, 30 tackles, 20 solo, 4 TFLs, 4 quarterback hits, 2 sacks, 2 pass deflections, and 1 interception. And Perry says from 2017 to 2026, 3 rings. That's 9 years. 3 rings in 9 years. That's remarkable. Don't get it twisted. But I think you need to get 3 rings in 6 seasons. That window in time is too large. That window and also the rosters is different. The rosters are different. Like the quarterbacks, the entire roster is different. The coaching, a dynasty, in my opinion, a dynasty only can count if you got the same quarterback and the same coach. In my opinion, that's a dynasty. Same quarterback, same coach. The 2017, 2018 Super Bowl doesn't count as far as the dynasty talk. But if Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni win 2 more Super Bowls over the next 3 or 4 years, something like that, oh yeah, we talking dynasty for sure. That's what I think. Arthur McQueen says, got to win 3 Super Bowls before you even can talk dynasty. Yeah, I agree. 100%. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I really do appreciate the love. Appreciate the support. We're about to get out of here pretty soon, you guys. And says facts. It is 2 different rosters. Fanny says Brady Belichick. That's the dynasty. Sweet Chin Music says, I think back-to-back championships will count for more. That doesn't happen often. Interesting angle. That is an interesting angle. I didn't think about it like that. The back-to-back angle. If you've been to 3 Super Bowls in the past 4 years and you won 2 of them back-to-back, that is pretty dominant. Huh. That's a good question, you guys. Sweet Chin Music raises a very good question. If you win it back-to-back, if you go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 seasons and you win it back-to-back, 2 of them, can that fast track your dynasty? You get what I'm saying? If I go to 3 Super Bowls in 4, if I go to 3 Super Bowls in 4 years' time, and I win 2 of them, and I win both of them back to back, does that fast track my dynasty talk? Chip Season says, yeah, back to back is different. Reb21 says, I seen something where someone said it's easy to beat Jalen until the time comes when you have to beat him. I couldn't agree more. Oh, man, that's funny. Jalen is a guy that, listen, you can act like he's easy to beat all you want. You can try your hard and say, oh, yeah, all we got to do is let Jalen Hurts beat us. Hey, listen. Okay. Y'all saw how that went. Aunt Perry says Mahomes wasn't a dynasty, or the Chiefs wasn't a dynasty until they went back to back. That first one was in 2019. That's a good point. So, yeah, they won the one in 2019, and then they went back to back in 2021 and 2022. Oh, I'm sorry, 2022, 2023. So, when you think about it from that perspective, they still got the third ring, though. They got the third ring still, nonetheless. But back to back is what catapulted them to dynasty. Back to back is difficult. It is an interesting conversation. It is interesting, you guys. Very interesting. But yeah, we're going to close the show out, you guys. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. You guys have been phenomenal today. Thank you for the super chats. One of our best days in a while. Thank you, Miss Fanny, for the super chat. Gunny Mac, Afrado, Kakakorski, Aunt Perry, Sweet Chin Music, Alex, Warv. Thank you guys so much for donating to the channel today. You guys have been phenomenal. Everybody, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. It means a lot to me. It goes a long way. I appreciate the love. You guys are great. Just keep in mind, we got content dropping all week. You know, have a good, safe 4th of July. You know, reaction videos dropping. You know, clips are dropping, things of that nature. I'm working on some interviews, you know, during this dead time right now. On top of that, make sure you guys check out the content on YouTube. The playback is always there for you guys. Make sure you check out the content on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. On top of that, I'm available on TikTok, and I'm also available on Instagram at chalkitup_sports. And you can also follow me on Twitter/X. The handle is DeShields, is my last name, DESHIELDS _. So make sure you guys lock in on the content. You guys have been great today. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. And you guys have been locked in on another dose of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game.